So that was towards the end of my year. There was this
Okay.
long lockdown. Yeah, I was like, where is there no lockdowns? Look, I wanted freedom, which is why I came to Taiwan.
And then you came to Taiwan.
Yeah, I did a little 2 weeks in a hotel quarantine here.
Cole Fogel here on A Healthy Balance, and I am here with
Albert.
photographer, soon to be YouTuber. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
What got you into photography?
I'm somebody that likes to do things all the time. I always liked photographs. So when I used to live out in Australia, and I was a chef out there.
Okay.
And the chef lifestyle is obviously work hard, play hard, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to find something to do in my spare time that didn't revolve around going out partying all the time. And I had a pretty good camera that I'd taken traveling. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go and do some street photography. And then it opened up this whole thing of like, when you're a photographer, it changes the way you look at the world. Like you start noticing things, like noticing, oh, look at the way the lines of that building,
Yeah.
sort of work with the lines of that street.
So I wanted to ask you, you have this one picture of this dude with glasses and I think a hat on. It's just beautiful lighting.
Oh yeah. He's an African guy that was living in Hanoi, Vietnam, when I was living in Vietnam. And I just stood him in front of this. Yeah, they like putting lights on the outside to buildings in Vietnam. Like if you live in like a nice apartment block like this, they would put strip neon lights all over the front of it.
You could see the lines on his glasses.
Yeah. So I put him in front of there, looking up with the reflective glasses and took a photograph.
How long have you been in Taiwan for?
Just over 1 year.
Prior to that 1 year, you were living in
Vietnam.
How long were you in Vietnam for?
Just over 1 year.
And during that 1 year in Vietnam, you were put into like a pretty depressing lockdown scenario.
Yeah, well, I had a studio apartment, so I was living on my own in a studio, so it's a one room that you're living in, which is fine normally because you're going out to the beach, you're going out doing whatever you're doing, and then all of a sudden, schools are closed. Okay, it'll be a couple of weeks they're going to close the schools, and they went on and on. All of a sudden, I've got no income because you don't work, you don't get paid. And then I'm in a foreign country. Luckily, I got some work teaching online. Well, if I'm working online, I'm not going to stay in Hanoi. I'm going to go and live by the beach. So I moved to Da Nang, which is a beach city.
Okay.
And really nice.
That sounds nice.
Beaches. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then that little lockdown finished, and we had free life living next to the beach for months, which was great. And then there was another outbreak where
Lockdown number 2.
They put big piles of sand on all the roads out of the city, so you couldn't leave the city, and you weren't allowed to leave your apartment.
That's a bad movie.
Yeah, it was like that, and you weren't allowed to leave your apartment except for food once every 3 days. You had tickets to the local market.
Wow.
So you had your little token to go to the market.
So they were being very careful.
Yeah.
Like almost scary cautious.
Yeah. Well, they went from 0 to having like, a few hundred cases, and they didn't want an outbreak, and in fairness to them, they got it back down to 0. So
I remember being in Taiwan, hearing about that, and going, "Oh, good job, Vietnam."
So that was towards the end of my year. There was this long lockdown, and it was during that lockdown that I watched lots of. I was like, where is there no lockdowns? So I watched some of Prozzy in Taiwan, and then I got to watching some Alan and some of Wes. There's no lockdown there, so then I eventually managed to get a job here in Kaohsiung. When you're trying to move to another country to teach, especially in the current situation, there's a whole lot of bureaucracy you have to do. So I had to go back to England. They would only let you apply for your documents from the embassy in your own country. So I had to go back to England and live in English lockdown in my parents' house for 2 or 3 months.
So you really got your taste of lockdown in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
How did the lockdown affect you psychologically?
You got a choice. You can sit and wallow, or you can make it a positive experience. So during all of the lockdowns, I didn't do any drinking because there's nothing worse than being hungover.
That's good, actually.
Locked in your own house. I was
So you were healthy?
No, because when I was in Vietnam, probably because I was eating loads of fruit from the local market. When I was back in England, my mum would just buy me because I was back home, what your mum's like. She's hey, have some cakes, have some biscuits.
You coped with it.
Yeah, as best as you can.
As best anyone can without losing their marbles.
Yeah, but I really wanted where is there no lockdown happening, because I need to be there. I wanted freedom, which is why I came to Taiwan.
And then you came to Taiwan.
Yeah, I did a little 2 weeks in a hotel quarantine here.
How was that? What was that?
That one wasn't so bad because that was different because there was light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So your mindset is completely different.
When the quarantine was over and stepped out of the quarantine hotel, do you remember that moment?
technically at 1 minute past midnight I could leave my hotel room. So at 1 minute past midnight,
I
went for a walk around Kaohsiung, and
beautiful.
I just went for a walk for like 3 hours around the streets of
Amazing.
Kaohsiung. And the next day, I had like all the muscles in my feet were really sore and aching.
Walking.
Because I'd not walked further than, I think my joints had just like seized up. Yeah, so I remember walking and I got a McDonald's from a place there.
Because everyone needs to know, what does McDonald's taste like in each country?
Yeah.
How's your apartment?
No, my apartment's nice, but my apartment is very much like an international sort of. It's one of those places you can rent for one night or you can rent for a year.
Okay.
But we've got a nice big kitchen, a big table,
cool.
a big balcony.
Yeah.
And some people are there for a month. Some people come and stay for 6 months.
Oh, must have met some interesting
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah. There was a point when we had, this is the most interesting sort of clash of personalities. There's a Hong Kong guy who left Hong Kong, who left Hong Kong because of the situation in Hong Kong. He was Taiwanese Australian, but he was pro-China. So Hong Kong guy and pro-China guy.
Well, those are some diverse characters.
Yeah, living in the same apartment and he just...
Sorry, a Taiwanese Australian pro-China guy and a Hong Kong guy and a British guy.
Oh yeah, there were some Germans there at the time, and a Kiwi.
And a Kiwi and a German, wow.
Yeah. So,
what were those conversations like?
Not normally good, but whenever it got onto the thing of China, just them two just couldn't drop it.
Hopefully there wasn't alcohol involved while that conversation was going on?
There was, and it always got pretty heated. At one point I had to actually separate a fight. So yeah.
What do you like about here that's unique to here?
I like the chaos. I like the hustle and bustle. The local food trader selling, outside the front of his house.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Something that is, their family have cooked for 40 years.
They do pass it on from generation to generation. Favorite fruit?
The pineapple here is outrageously good. When it's just at the peak, it's like the best.
Is traffic less chaotic than Vietnam?
Less.
Right? Because I've heard Vietnam is quite crazy, right?
Yeah. Vietnam during rush hour, people are up on the pavements. And including yourself, when you get to live there, you're like, fuck this, I got somewhere to be.
Any strong dislikes about here?
Little small daily things like the trash collection system. Everyone hates. It's like, for a country that's based around convenience, it's the least convenient thing in the world.
Oh, because you have to be there at a certain time to get it.
Yeah, I work at that time, so I have to come home at 10 and find a street 3 blocks over where it's gonna have one later, and I have to run over there with my trash bags.
Oh. Yeah. How do they do garbage in Hanoi or in Vietnam?
You leave it outside your house and on the corner, and it's just like a lady with a big cart. Every little district has one.
You told me you went on a pretty crazy excursion on a bicycle that you rented.
Yeah, I cycled. That was during the lockdown, light lockdown. Yeah. We had a week off work, so I cycled from here to Hualien.
From here to Hualien. But you did it the hard way. You went over, you said Sun Moon Lake.
And over Uling. Yeah.
Uling. 3,000 up.
3,000 meters, yeah. But the good thing about that is it took one day getting up to Uling, which was painful and excruciating and a challenge, but obviously the feeling of making
what a high to get there though.
Yeah, the high to get there, and then everyone riding past you as you're struggling up the hill, Jayo. So it's kind of a buzz. The next day I got to just roll down hills for 7 hours. I didn't
straight down, right?
Yeah, all the way from Uling through to Roko Gorge, and it's just round mountains, no pedaling. So that was good.
So why did you leave Australia? You said you were a chef in Australia to come teach English originally in Vietnam, right?
Originally in China.
Originally in China. Sorry. Okay. So what made you leave Australia to ultimately teaching English?
I'd just done it for so many years, and the lifestyle of being a chef is famously live hard, play hard. So we work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
And just so in England it was even more extreme. You finish your working in a restaurant at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then you go out partying until 4 in the morning, and then do the same thing again. In England that was the life, was just work hard, play hard. So I left that in England, and then I went over to Australia. And luckily in Australia they have a really big cafe and brunch scene, so I was able to work a different sort of time scale.
Nice.
You work at 6:30 in the morning till 4 p.m.
So your lifestyle was healthier in Australia.
A little bit, but you're still out. You can still drink till 11, right?
It sounds like if you're a chef, you drink.
Yeah. All chefs drink. at the end of my chef days, I was like head chef, executive chef. So it's like, okay, I just want a new challenge. You know, if I move to Asia as an English teacher, I can teach people.
Right. Yeah,
feels
for sure.
that, helping people,
Yeah.
teaching people, which I enjoy. A challenge, something new, and freedom to be in Asia, travel around and take photographs and build my photography portfolio.
So you ended up in China first.
My original intention was to move to Vietnam because I love Vietnam. And then as I'm applying for jobs, like I never really considered anywhere else, but there's so many jobs in China. I was like, there's actually a lot of jobs in China paying pretty good money. I could go there, do a year, see how it is. Completely new experience again because I've never been to China.
What was the best and the worst part of China?
As soon as you leave China and enter a country that has freedom, you feel it in the air. In China, you feel the opposite. I feel the power of government, the power of control.
Like it's always kind of in the background.
Yeah, you really got to watch what you say. You know, when you start working there, they say don't mention the 3 T's. That's what they tell you. Don't mention the 3 T's. Can you guess what the 3 T's are? The first one.
Taiwan. Okay. Tyrant?
No. Tiananmen Square?
Tibet.
Yeah.
You can't talk about those things.
No. Preconceived ideas about China were very much wrong, and they really taught me to be a lot more open-minded. People were so friendly, people were so helpful, people were so nice. People there are happy.
You need to separate the government from the people. A lot of countries have governments that are not so lovely, and I feel like we need to have some sort of loving compassion for that, because they didn't ask to be placed in that position. They were just placed in that position.
Yeah, they were born into it.
And everybody wants freedom, and everybody wants to be happy, and everybody wants to be loved. Because I just want to make a point of we need to get away from this fighting all the time about what's right and what's wrong, and we need to be more compassionate as a human race.
Yeah, just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're evil. You know?
No.
And there's a chance as well that you're wrong.
And there's a chance
that they're right.
But what is right and what is wrong?
Exactly, it's all perception.
I feel like if you ask 10 people that question from 10 different countries, I can guarantee they would all have different answers. I'm happy that you're here in Taiwan, in Kaohsiung.
Yeah, me too.
We'll get to know each other more. And thank you for watching A Healthy Balance. I appreciate the chat, brother. And check out your Instagram.
Instagram, The Sound on the Street.
The Sound on the Street. So, I will catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye.